Hello, Lost Legion. Hear your name. There's one. The ancient organized crime method, an archetypal organized crime method, the devil, criminally re-engineered human education, human campus Marcius, internation sciences, and nation sciences, criminally re-engineering nature, taking away the course of the long words perfected, revealed by nature before criminal persuasions between the nations. Since some ancient times, this just reminds. So what this means is that they tactically hurt and denature human fact treatment nature. And that means when they denature justifications of human fact treatments. And that means the natural system of space is only natural overall system at the same time as the body of value as the finite. Which is why we're going to learn this right to left and left to right at the same time, because it's in right to left diffusion to itself, left to right diffusion to itself. And then there was matter. And when the beginning of the Old Testament, this is what it's about. God is a concept. Correlation nature, wrong or right, through correlation seen the radical value in its progression that will only stay a progression, positive, beyond positive, but in conjunction with positive and negative, as determinate to what? To the correlation of its own nature, which it will only stay inherently, progressively, positive to itself, of a progression inside the nature of positive, which is only a semi-positive compared to the ahs. There's ah or there's ahs. Everything was criminally re-engineered. The criminally engineered fact treatment hold everyone to a state of it as criminal insidiousness, progressively. No, in other words, I'm not a lawyer. I should know. I'm not a criminal. Expert at English grammar, which is predicate value. Predicate act is determined in relationship to our predicate acts are crimes that are caused progressively by internation and by interstate criminal enterprises. Now, archetypal criminal enterprises is between all nations. It's fluent through each nation because we have standing awe as fact treatment nature, in a negative value nature progression that's caused by space nature. Look around. See, the science wasn't representing space nature. Science never represented anybody. Pseudo-science did. And then that's a fact treatment, because then you're defending what was only realized as a fact treatment of science that is worse than not debatable. It's pseudo-science. It's pseudo-ratiocination in ratiocination's name. There is one game. And so Wethersfield interbranch judges various natures of courts at once, with interstate ones, and within that is a sick internation body, with prisons and with areas, and with intersciences, specifically through healthcare. This is prime, and judges have been covering live progressions with only realized standing. Live progression cover up needs and natures as themselves with various natures of courts. When I say interbranch, that's what I mean. We're going to examine what made the tactics, the breaching method that had the colonists not motivated, only realized as breaching nature and self-maintained breaching roles for an archetypal criminal enterprise through the tribes of nations, modern nations, all, not just Native Americans. They took this education perfection that Native Americans know they want and need, and they have the rights to it, they know, but they have ill-standing fact treatment nature. The extent of it is way beyond this. It's against everyone. They're only realized victim predators. We have to have forgiveness for them, for the branches. But we must cease fake branches down. call through each town. We lost since Revolution. This is why George Washington had to meet the French general in Wethersfield, Connecticut, right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War. This is why the Wethersfield judicial branch and why the offices in Wethersfield and why the prison building in Connecticut, in Wethersfield, Hartford border, why it's tied to original and progressed uncharged. These methods. It's criminal to use. I'm not even a lawyer to use fact treatment nature for such, and then to have it blamed on other, and to exploit that. That's what's been happening. That's why we have poverty. They call poverty is a term shared, not only, in other words, measured, invested, measured, and exploited, and cultivated, needed per ulterior interests, than an archetypal organized crime that needs us to keep a hurt conviction nature rolls. So it needs to keep standards with all our means, with space, with people stacking. That's two in Oz. That's two in Oz. So we're going to learn about value and value nature. And every time I say things and people go and start, you hear the same, like, no one talks about value before because everyone knows they're not value. Everyone knows they're lying because that's the way they do it. They say, oh, it's money. Let someone speak for real about poverty, about the impositions upon that. Every color, anyone associated with it, even especially in the suburbs too. Leave that out. In other words, we don't have standards right in the suburbs at the same time as they're unimaginably breached with lack of legal representation in the cities. That's what I'm saying. You're going to be my trainer for Hartford. I'm going to be your trainer, because someone's going to. If you know I'm talking, no one heard me yet, or the wrong people here, because you know what they do too. They're recorded doing this. They're recording using police forms with the right to lie. They're juxtaposed with hundreds of nations sharing policing of these market value nature systems. That's why the cultural polarity natures are so strong, with sick natures of police across the board of nations, and with bombs at their back first, and with standards these forced on, and then they want to temper people to it, but it's not us doing it. It's all of us. See, now that where it's not true that it is us doing it, that's because we have to be able to have free speech unabridged. That's why we have to explain the extortion of our founders that was wanted told. We have to explain the forced glorification of our founders that's wanted charged. Play no games. It's an organized crime. We're going to talk about a criminal enterprise, but we're going to talk about an archetypal criminal enterprise, because who saved English? Jesus Christ, his movement, and Muhammad's movement, and the Quran's movement, and the King of Saudi Arabia, in our three branches. The Republic. But in other words, you say, well, that's not the Republic. You have to, all these hard laws. Those hard laws are not the Republic, because they're demonstrating every nation was forced to entertain an ulterior from actual value nature system, forced shared policing of that. So forced value nature system where you can't even measure the value because of the nature of the value, all kinds of the natures of the value with industries are ill. And then they're all forced to entertain each other. So they're all entertained ill. There is no free business. There is no free speech. Each one of the surface values of the Constitution, just like with colonization, we lost to this because we lost the campus Marcius. Nations out to all areas and through all nations. Ill sciences, ill fact treatment nature. Science have one identity shared. In English is its course, revealed, of course. See, yin yang returns. Yin yang is in temporary space nature. and with the forever nature before it, as the cause of it, actively, life, this forever nature, and diffusion through itself, the identity of space, clear body's value. Identity, the identity of space. To understand this to the extent of it, it's true, because you need to have a term to understand. You have to understand identity to be a scientist, which uses what is only positive always. So to make distinctions, you have to have the name for the and they have it revealed. The ancients had it revealed before criminal persuasions of the sciences. They couldn't believe that humanity would forget how to cause evolution. Look how beautiful North Korea is. What they're trying to say, where everyone's a victim predator together. I'm not taking sides. I'm taking the sides of our humanity. Inherently, every side is wrong. We're in a negative value nature progression that's not going to come through sides. What I'm trying to say, with the sides narratives, with the fact treatments, is the problem. So then they say they're going to put counters there, then they have to police those things. All our value nature system goes deeper and deeper into negative value nature. What is not positive value, we can't use what the seasons are an identity for together, in demonstration of the value of spring, of fall, of stability that's real, and then stability needed to charge with speaking for stability in relationship to the exploitation of the standing tortured fact treatment natures, of the standing odd natures of nations, each branch because of the sciences, and so because of themselves. Justifications of that. With the justification, this was designed to facilitate means for them to blame it on other. Like the term, even with the terms like poverty. It's not poverty, it's a breaching losses from fronts in the American. We lost on many fronts in the American Revolution. Physically, because first nature-wise, we must understand the identity of the sciences. Romulus, youtube.com/user/Romulus Wall. I'm not just saying that for myself. No, this is the identity. We're gonna place pantheism as a religion, not to replace religion, because we need religion, because this is about this. Until we have this, in other words, we need a quality of fact treatment nature that is not being had by the people of all areas of all nations, and no one has the words to explain why, because everyone's at a pace with another ulterior from natural value nature system at the same time with nations having been tactically denatured for this. Even the most beautiful nations, in other words, nature-wise. You ever see the most beautiful nationwide? They don't even have their water. Who cares for them? No one. Who plays? Oh, I gave them. What you do? In other words, too many resources. But they're all locked into a negative value nature progression. When you look over and you see people begging for money, for it's not funny. I was thinking about a Saturday Night Live skit they had about it. I had been saying that too. It's sick, but I'm saying not as a joke. Not as a joke at all, because that's criminal insidiousness nature that has to be addressed to fix that. What's causing that is criminal insidiousness nature with justification natures of it, looking away from it. Same thing with the cities here. We have that was designed. See, people want to. We have to explain what was made so sick to make it incapable of explaining it, but wrong. And then to have that a part of the a method with a multi-front, everyone just giving up on quality fact treatment nature, on ratiocination, on the means to it. Everyone tries to. People make opinions. See, I'm not making opinions here. I can back this up, which is only true always. And see, but this is not being led voice because we have offensive, sick, already live progression cover-up needs and natures of branches with all areas of all nations in relationship to database illusion stacking from all the roles in this together needed to cover their lives, pretending the tactic of pretending that they have integrity together, internation families that are sharing policing of this. That's why they have notions of prejudice, and they have rackets and motivations that are ulterior, but they're effectively manifest, torturing the fact treatment natures. The fact treatment nature, torturing them to ulterior from actual human identities, positive fact treatment nature onto itself. Now, once that left from a progression that we already had, space's identity will only stay positive unto itself. So it's not like we're just a cancer, lethal high Ds. Positive will only stay positive unto itself. That's the phenomenon of immediate space nature's value. So you think that all space is going to, in other words, the volume of consciousness of all Earth with no criminal persuasions, especially no criminally legalized ones, nature. The only criminal persuasions it has is through us. That's why it's not science that says, oh, we're advanced because we're the plague to the whole Earth, where it's cancer. We're the cause of value nature leaving from here, lethal Hades. So they have all that money gone to natures of business and of science that is ulterior from all the sciences working together because it's illegal. But they're doing it because they have original, progressed, uncharged, criminally natured agencies together and apart into all areas, cultivated to roles by a breaching method that has maintained away. And there's a relationship to them directing investigations to direct effects natures. The looking, in other words, then they're going to be covering up their own natures even when they're trying to do what's force necessary. In other words, what's making these internation criminal enterprise so vicious and sick is because they were all juxtaposed to play the roles of a fact treatment nature racket, keeping us blaming the extortion and the breaching roles of our agencies as hurt victims too, as victim predators though. So we need free speech. We need to understand how our colonists couldn't say that's slavery. How our founders couldn't say that. George Washington had to leave slavery entrenched in Wethersfield, Connecticut. And with the French general, they could only counter-extort what was in here, Hartford, Connecticut. Trinity College used to be George Washington College. He had to leave slavery here because he had to still pretend with the French general, theater and entertainment of the nature of criminal insidiousness that had both nations, but everyone. If they found out they were involved with the Constitutional Convention, forget about it. Even George Washington wouldn't have been safe. And none of them were safe. And they couldn't even leave telling us about how the organized crime using tactically denatured relationship to nature, because they knew the way they built the houses, they forced them with the laws, with the slavery on everyone, to limits, and to denatured relationship to water and everything, and made that classified. We could use ratiocination and in relationship to all the things that they're recorded lying and covering up and exploiting that way. So it's not legal, but we're not being able to let free speech. We're the recorded sequence shifting. If someone tries to speak still, since colonization, this is why early states, when they say with the Civil War, the Civil War was about a breaching organized crime and about its entrenchments that were here before the births of our founders. And it was multi-front because of the way it was engineered to stay human fact treatment nature, blaming on other, invested as breaching nature, blaming on other, to themselves, to others, only capable of it through breach sciences. So we come for each science when